And guest. All right, we're in. So I just got a phone call from a fellow not too far from here who said, hey, I've got some DEC terminals. If you want them, just come get them. So I am hopping in the Nerdmobile and going to head on over there. It's about 15 minutes away. And we'll see what they got. It tells me that they are DEC VT220 terminals, which is great. That's exactly what I want, that type of thing. So we're going to give it a try. The VT220 is the successor to Digital Equipment's VT100 terminal. During the 80s, hundreds of thousands of these terminals were sold to businesses and colleges. For students during this time, the VT220 was the face of modern computing.
I'm not going to give you my serial cable. I assume
That's okay. That's fine.
You've got serial cable.
I have plenty of serial cables, but these have the interconnect cables. These things are actually kind of hard to find.
DEC Connect.
The DEC Connect, or there's actually another name
The
for
terminals have just normal 25-pin serial on them.
Wonderful.
So that's fine.
Yep.
This stuff is just convenient as all hell. So,
Yeah. Fantastic.
Everyone who has terminals ends up having all these different converters. You know,
Yep.
you're like, okay, this is a 25-pin male, this is a 25-pin female, and universally you have the wrong gender, or you're missing a null modem.
A few days later, I had one of the VT220s set up in our makerspace for testing. When the 220 came out, it came with this keyboard. This is an LK201, the keyboard that would be the standard for DEC for many years to come. These keyboards are used not only on these terminals, but also on DECmates Pro and Rainbow computers. On the back, we can see the manufacturer date for this unit, June 1984. I was just getting out of college then. The keyboard uses an RJ10 connector with 4 wires. It's actually just a serial bus running at about 4800 baud. The primary data connection is a DB25 serial port. I'm using a 9-pin adapter here. The terminal also supports a 20 milliamp current loop. On the bottom is a little stand that lets you adjust the angle. Normally you could just push a button and it would adjust, but this one was really sticky. These 2 knobs are used to set the contrast and the brightness on the CRT. Let's go ahead and power it up. The power switch is on the back. These keyboards have this little storage tray for storing function key label strips. When you switched applications, you just change the strip to show you what the function keys now did, and keep the unused ones in the tray. To configure the terminal, start by hitting Setup. So we can step through all the settings here. All the VT220s have their own setup screen that you could make changes on. So on the display, we could go from 80 column mode to 132 column mode, which is very tight. It's pretty fancy actually. Some of the other things in here, jump scroll versus smooth scroll, will change how things scroll up the terminal as you're working with it. I like jump scroll. Smooth scroll is kind of fancy. Light text, dark screen versus an inverted screen. So you can flip it around like that. The cursor can be cursor or no cursor if you have kind of a kiosk display where you don't want the cursor blinking. We have a block cursor, an underline cursor, whatever you like. VT100 mode versus 200, 8-bit, 52, and this is how the terminal will identify itself when it's connected. So it says, I am a VT220. Whether you can define the keys to whatever you like, multinational stuff, which was kind of interesting as well. Is the numeric keypad enabled? Are the cursor keys enabled? This is the communication stuff, very important. Lets you set the speed of the serial port, which is, in this case, we're set to 19.2 kilobaud. I'm trying to remember what receive equals transmit means. Oh, it syncs the receive speed with the transmit speed. Okay, that's fine. Not sure why you would async that, but 8 bits no parity, 1 stop it. This is your standard serial settings, whether the terminal should echo to itself or not. It's using the EIA RS-232 port and unlimited transmit. I think, I'm not even sure what that is. The terminals do have a printer port on the back, so you can set up the serial communications for the printer port. So you could attach a local printer and send print jobs directly to a locally attached printer. Now in here we have a Raspberry Pi, very small single board machine, about as low power as we can get. Let's power it up and see what happens. Now the terminal is connected directly to the Raspberry Pi on the serial console. The Pi has been configured to use the serial port as its standard console. So this is what you would see on your screen if you booted up a Pi attached to a normal machine, to a normal keyboard and monitor. But it's very easy to reroute the console directly to the serial port. And this is basically how every mini computer and mainframe booted until PC platforms became the norm. You would attach a serial console, power it up, and watch it boot. And there we go. Now let's see, if I were in an old style office and I were trying to log into the mainframe, what would I do? Let's try guest and guest. All right, we're in. So from here on in, you basically function just like you would on your Raspberry Pi. Screen operations work. You can use your VI editor. Everything works as expected. Remember, these type of terminals are exactly what things like VI and Emacs were designed to be used for. So this works obviously very well. But it's very important to note that really what makes a proper terminal is how well it runs NetHack. Although hit points 2 of 28, this was not a game that was going particularly well, and I think I'm surrounded. There's lots of nasties around here. Let's see if I can get past these guys. Golden Naga Haxling Corpse. Oh, looks like we're out. Yay. Let's play a little bit here. Beginning to feel weak. Better eat something. Let's have an orange. That orange is delicious.
I got a little carried away here playing NetHack. Seriously, it's a great game. Maybe I should do some videos on old Unix games like NetHack, Moria, and Extrek. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments.
Let's save this game. But basically anything that you do from a standard console, you can do from here. That beep is something that anybody who has worked in a computer lab in the 80s knows very, very well. We can actually see here that we are on a Raspberry Pi Zero, so not a CM4, it's a Pi Zero. Running Bookworm, fantastic. And let's see. 697 bogomips. I have to look up see what that ranks with. But we can come on, what is it? Oh, -config. Looks relatively normal. Note that the original serial consoles didn't actually have extended character sets for doing special graphics, so it's doing its best. But this works fine. I can still go in and do whatever changes I want to do. Let's do an update. The amount of time that sysadmins would spend at consoles like this was pretty much nonstop. But have to consider an entire lab full of these where you'd have 20, 30, 40 undergrads working on their coding. This is what you worked on for hours and hours and hours and hours. And they worked. They worked quite well. Just not very fast.
The VT220 was a major milestone as computing moved from the laboratory into big business. Its small size, ergonomic keyboard, and high-quality screen made it attractive for day-to-day use in business applications. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and would like to see more, please click the like and subscribe button down below or leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you.